So here we have Ed. We're going to look at this a couple of times in fast motion. Uh, Probably the first thing I see, and Ed, if you'll remember, I started the night talking about tying your shoes. Um, this is interesting. I mean, we can blame it on, gym floor and sneakers, but I want you to watch your front foot land and then slip. See that? How the foot lands and then slips forward. Believe it or not, we see even with shoes that aren't tied, when a pitcher lands and his foot slides in his shoe, we get a similar effect, which is a decrease in velocity. And the reason why is we're not creating that strong front side, because that front side kind of collapses and goes forward. We lose the ability for the trunk to create the whip of the arm. Just looking at your arm action, your upper body, everything, from, if you look at basically the logo along your chest, if you look from there up, man, you got some good stuff going, okay? You're doing a lot of good things. My biggest concern for you is the timing, the lower body, the synchronization of the lower body with the upper body. That's where we're kind of losing some things. And, the reason that foot is slipping right here, we can blame it on the gym floor, but that's not the issue. The issue is a late weight transfer. We see, as we're coming out of leg kick, we see the weight still predominantly on the back leg at this point. Realistically, right about here, that back hip should start to fire, transferring the weight forward to the front leg. And what we see is the front hip kind of just falling open. So we get to landing, but now, and I'll draw you a little line here just to show you, watch how the weight continues to transfer at this point. See that transfer of weight and energy just kind of creeping forward rather than this back foot firing the hips open, and that's what we're looking for. So honestly, that's when we talk about that segmented rotation, the lower half creating the energy that moves into the core and then to the trunk, to the chest, and then finally to the shoulder. This is kind of what we're talking about, and this is where you're kind of losing a lot of that, which is creating more stress on the arm and actually lowering velocity. So what we want to focus on is getting that lower half going. So there's two drills I want you to focus on over the next week or so. The first one's starting at landing. Let's work on landing. Okay, so see how your front foot still at about a 45-degree angle. Maybe we'll give you 60 degrees. We want that to be at 90. We want that foot pointing right towards home plate. So let's go ahead and set that foot at 90 degrees right towards home plate. Okay. The next thing we want to make sure is at that exact moment, we want this back foot to also be at 90 degrees, which means we got to get our shoelaces towards the plate. Okay. So for this drill, what I want you to do is go ahead, even if you have to cheat this foot up a little bit, let's move it up in here, wherever you feel comfortable with this foot. Let's get to the position where your lower body is completely open. Your hips are turned open. But I want your upper body in this position. Okay? You've got great arm action. Your front side is, you're looking great from an upper body standpoint. I really think the issue with you is your lower body. That's where you're losing that entire kinetic chain. If we just went from your waist up, you look great. From the waist down, you're losing a lot of energy. Okay, so let's get, for this drill's sake, let's get front foot open. Okay, front foot pointing towards the plate, back foot pointing towards the plate, and get our upper body in this position. And from that point, all we want to do is concentrate on rotating the trunk around a strong front side. Now, keep in mind, okay, this front knee is not going anywhere. This front hip is not going anywhere. This backside, I'll clear all this, but we want this backside, everything back here, to rotate around that front side. Okay, so let's establish a strong front side, which means, you can see, we want the weight on that hip. Okay, if you remember that Strasberg video, we had 200% of the body weight landing right here. Okay, you still have, see all that weight still continuing to come forward? So at the immediate impact of landing, we need that body weight forward. We want to feel the weight on this hip, on this foot, and then we're going to rotate around that. I think that combined with your mechanics, your natural ability, I mean, dude, your arm action's really good, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. You're just losing a lot of energy in the lower half. So, 2 drills. Let's start lower body completely open, which is about right there, okay, but with our feet on the ground, with the upper body in this position. And let's work on just feeling that rotation of the upper body around the open hips. Okay. Second drill we want to do is the one we did the other night. If you'll remember, we're going to start with our body facing that way. We're going to jump, turn, and work on driving our back hip. Okay, so our back hip, if you look, you watch your leg kick here. Okay, leg kicks up, back hip is here, comes down, and it's not until about right here that you start moving it, and then after you land, you finish moving forward. Okay, we want to start that back hip moving on leg kick. Okay, so if we can, on our leg kick, get that back hip activated, start moving towards the target, you're going to be way further down the road towards the plate. Your timing is going to change significantly. You're not only going to see an increase in velocity, I think you'll feel a lot less strain on the arm. So if we can do those 2 drills, let's get to a strong landing, both feet open, body closed, and then just work on rotating around a strong front side, and then go to the jump, turn, backside pushing out and throwing. You can do it with a baseball, without. I mean, you can practice these drills, dry, without a baseball. Just go through the motions, get the body working. I think we'll see some significant differences this week. So good luck with that, and I'll see you this week.